So I've recently been playing through the New Game Plus mode of Horizon Zero Dawn, and playing it through a second time really lets me appreciate everything that I love about the game, because the first time I played it, it was all a new experience, and I was taking everything in as I was going along, and I was super invested in the story and the game in general. But playing it a second time really lets me appreciate everything that I enjoyed so much while playing it through in the first playthrough. And it really got me thinking about how much this game is a masterpiece in my opinion, and how much I think it's going to shape open world games to come in the future. So today, I'm going to be talking about the reasons why Horizon Zero Dawn is a success and why it was such a success in my opinion, because it's a great game. I recommend you guys play it if you haven't already. And, you know, I'm just going to say before we start this video is going to have spoilers for the game. So if you haven't played it, don't watch the video because there's going to be spoilers for the game. But without further ado, and with all these spoiler warnings out of the way, let's get straight into the video. So to be able to gauge why this game was so successful, we need to go back before the game was released and kind of the marketing strategy and how Guerrilla showed the game before it was released. Before this game came out, I actually kind of knew nothing about it. I looked at it and thought, nah, it's just another open world game, you know, there's nothing really special about it at all. And up until the release of the game, I did not care about it at all. I didn't think it was that great, because Guerrilla didn't go around flaunting it. They didn't show everything off about the game. They just showed a few little bits of gameplay and what they'd done with the game and their ideas for the game, and they just put it into little short snippets of gameplay, especially like the E3 demo where you see Aloy taking down a Thunderjaw. Nothing was really shown in the game. It was still mysterious, there wasn't many story aspects that were revealed, and it was all round very well done. On top of keeping the game rather ominous, the developer Guerrilla hadn't been known for open world games in the past. They actually made the first person shooter series that's exclusive to the PS4, Killzone, which was made actually to compete with Halo, so there you go, that's a piece of information there. Although the Killzone games did get fair and pretty good scores across the whole franchise, they still weren't known for open world games, so not many people expected an awful lot in terms of an open world experience. This only made Horizon Zero Dawn a better game because people had low expectations for the company that had never made an open world game before. They also kept their cards extremely close to their chest in terms of showing off the game, so when the game actually came out and you found out there was tons to do and explore, it was a lot more surprising than just having a regular game that they'd shown loads about and talked loads about too. So why exactly was the game good when it came out? Well, I mean, the first thing you probably notice as soon as you get into the game is the fact that it's a very detailed and beautiful open world experience, which is exactly what open world games should be, and it's very evident that this is that from the get-go. Not only do they introduce you to things like the world and the lore as soon as the game begins, but they also let you explore a small portion of the larger open world. Instead of just slapping you directly into the open world, they have a small area that lets you kind of get to grips with the game as a whole. This is something that many games have done, and I think it's a great way to ease you into the experience. After the game shows you the ropes and how to play the game in general, how the game works and the rules of the game, it then lets you off into the bigger open world when Aloy is anointed as a Seeker. This, in my opinion, is when the game truly begins, because at its heart this game is an RPG action-adventure game, much like many other of my favorite games as of recently, which means there are a ton of quests and side activities for you to be doing in the open world as soon as you're let out. There's no constraints, there's no places in the open world that are restricted from you. You can go anywhere you want and explore the vastness of Horizon Zero Dawn's map. And there is quite a bit to do in the open world of Horizon Zero Dawn. There's various different errands you can do for different quest givers that you meet around the map, loads of different characters in the open world, different quests in the game as well as the errands. There's bandit camps that you can destroy, corrupted zones that you can go ahead and kill the robots in, and then there's also various different machines that you can hunt around the map as well and loot them for various different resources. But killing and looting and questing are things that are done in all RPGs and is never something really new, no matter how fun it is to do. Horizon Zero Dawn really shines where its story aspects are concerned, because where it lacks in content, it makes up for in character and in story. Seriously, the story of Horizon Zero Dawn is nothing like you'd expect it to be from just watching the small bits of gameplay we got at E3 2015. Guerrilla did an incredibly good way of keeping the story aspect under wraps until you actually played the game, and that's what's so amazing about Horizon Zero Dawn. Because of the surprise, because of how the story unfolds, how you get to know the character development of Aloy is absolutely phenomenal. If you compare a game like Horizon Zero Dawn the fuck was up my voice then? If you compare Horizon Zero Dawn to Witcher 3, which Horizon Zero Dawn took a lot of inspiration from The Witcher 3, and you can tell by how the game plays, how the inventory management works, how the quest management works, you know, it took a lot of inspiration from The Witcher 3, and that is not a bad thing whatsoever. But if you do compare it to The Witcher 3, The Witcher 3 has a lot more content in terms of side quests, the map is bigger, there's more customization to Geralt than there is to Aloy, there's more weapons for you to use, and it's all around more of a traditional RPG experience with all that customization and all that good stuff, whereas Horizon Zero Dawn is an RPG action adventure game that's more centered around the narrative, because what I've noticed is Horizon Zero Dawn definitely has a better story, a main story than The Witcher 3. I've got to say The Witcher 3's Blood and Wine is phenomenal. I think the story of that is almost on a par with Horizon Zero Dawn itself, but I just prefer the whole theme of Horizon Zero Dawn's story than that of The Witcher 3. It's so much more interesting and intriguing, and it's a very fresh and new original take on the kind of post-apocalyptic sort of scenario, and it's a very, very original game with a very original story. I think that's also a definite reason why the game was so successful, because they were so successful at pulling off an original story without it being some bullshit rehash of another game, especially considering they were taking on the post-apocalyptic genre of games, and it really is nothing we've seen before. You know what, like robot dinosaurs and shit, like that's never been in a game before, which is the reason why it's such an intriguing and interesting plot to center a game around. This game really was a breath of fresh air in terms of the open world game genre, because it's full of terrible games, most of which were released by Ubisoft. I think what this game did was it pushed forward what The Witcher 3 did for open world games, and it showed that not only can you have a really in-depth open world with beautiful graphics and amazing side activities, but you can also have an incredibly in-depth main story that really gets you attached to the character and leaves every player that's played the game wanting more. So why was the game so successful? Well, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? The reason why is because Guerrilla, a company that aren't known for making open world games, kept their cards very close to their chest, didn't show an awful lot of the game, so once the game was released, people's expectations were exceeded. The game also has a very in-depth and beautiful open world with amazing graphics, tons of exploration, quests, and collectibles to get, but on top of all of this, it has an interesting and fresh storyline, which is the main part of the game. The main part it was so successful is because from the get-go it grabbed the attention of the people playing it and fed them this story that is never been done before in any way before. It's the perfect mix of like playing with the players' emotions, getting them introduced to characters only just to kill them off, and light-hearted comedy and action and everything that you want in an RPG game or an action-adventure game to make it great in terms of the narrative. So that is the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe for more gaming news and content in the future, and also remember to comment down in the comment section below telling me what you guys thought of this video. I tried to keep it as concise as possible, talking about Horizon Zero Dawn, comparing it to other games and stuff like that, and yeah, that's the reason why I think Horizon Zero Dawn was such a successful game, because time and effort was clearly put into crafting and creating this game, and I really do appreciate it. You know, Guerrilla did a great job, and I cannot wait for the sequel of the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.